So today was quite a day. Um, we had the suspension of two presidential campaigns, Rand Paul and Rick Santorum. I had to remember because they've both basically been irrelevant since Trump got in. Well, to Rand Paul's credit, he stayed around a little bit later, to such an extent that TYT predicted around July of last year, when there were 16 candidates, Freak 16, that he would be the nominee. And well, this is disproving that. Uh, he just threw in the towel. And I'm actually really surprised by it because he was in fifth place in Iowa, which, it's nothing necessarily great, but when you consider the fact that there were 11, 12 people in the race at that time. I'm saying that time as if it weren't 2 days ago. I'm not really, I wouldn't, all I'm getting at is I would have focused my efforts on New Hampshire, if anything else. But, him getting out at this point really does call to question why there are still so many people in here. And Santorum, I'm not even addressing him because he was at 0 or 2% or even lower than that. I think Rand Paul was at 2%. His support was just waning as months and months passed. Really, the whole latter part of last year would have been a good time to just call it a quits and not stay in until voting actually took place. Walker, who I would call the hot dog vendor because I was so mad he was the only person running without a degree. He was smart in getting out when he did because he did not allow himself to drag out how long he would stay in or continue to be some presence that nobody would react to. He got it right, and it wasn't as bad because Trump wasn't polling at 40% and 30%. So it still seemed more realistic that someone could catch up with him. But one thing about his suspension back in September that I really liked and why I'm applying it to now is that his supporters kind of split around a little bit and made it to where it's a little bit easier to catch up to Trump. Really, the stupidity of all these people still in the race is that there's only about 5, maybe 4 that have an actual chance of getting anywhere besides Trump. Now, when I say that, and there are still 9 people in this, there's a good 3 or 4 that could just drop out. And I'm glad these two have, I have no animosity towards either one of them. I actually think Rand Paul is quite comedic, and he'll certainly win re-election in November, so he's got the last laugh, even as he gets out of this, which is the most amusing part of the whole process. But what I am getting at is there's really nothing for him to be upset over, and nothing to be upset over with him leaving. I don't think anybody is. I'm just bothered by how long it's been taking for people to start getting out. I'm really annoyed by it, and I think if we can get some more people out by the end of this month after they start losing New Hampshire and South Carolina and Nevada, the next early voting states, this will be a much easier process. Because again, I don't want any of these people to continue to be in this election. Any of these people that aren't Cruz, Trump, Rubio, Kasich, and maybe Christie, because Carson has no chance. I don't care what the polls say, of being in this and still thinking they can win. That's not even realistic. Again, I'm really kind of dazed still in reacting to this because it just seemed as if it would never happen. I knew they were eventually going to get out, but I wasn't thinking until April or May or something. Just he wanted to see the 1-year anniversary of his campaign. But I'm glad it's finally over. So it's good. In conclusion, thank God. Oh my God, I still don't want to be seen as some kind of hater, but whatever. Have a good day.